Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk, a platform where we discuss some of our favorite movies with the film community, like yourselves. Tonight, I'm being spoken with Bath Time. How you doing, Bath Time? Sorry, I don't know what's going on. I've forgotten my lines. Tonight, I'm joined by Bath Time. How you doing, Bath Time? You good?
Oh, all right. I've had a hell of a week, to be perfectly honest, or a hell of a week last week.
Tired myself, as you can tell.
Yeah, man, I got called up for jury duty.
Oh my god! Excited?
Yeah, because I think it's very important to do your civic responsibility, but everyone at my work is basically bullying me to get out of it when I think that you should do it. Don't get paid for it, which is a bit of a surprise. But I think I can get out of it, so they're probably going to make me do that.
They shouldn't do that though, because obviously you want to do it and you want to get out of work. Don't you?
Well, no, I don't want to get out of work, but I think that it is, as a citizen, I think it is my responsibility to do stuff like this when I'm asked. And I don't like the fact that everyone is just making up that I shouldn't do it. Well, I'm probably not going to do it, but it is your responsibility as a British citizen to support the British judicial system.
Well, I think my workplace would probably do the same thing. I think a few people would do, but you should still do it.
They all do. Do you know what you have to do? Right, it's 2 weeks, or well, it's 10. It's 10 working days, so it's 2 weeks, and you have to go to the court every day, like at 10, and like they just come out and they pick a couple of people. And then if they don't pick you, go home. But you have to do that every day for like 10 days.
You get your travel paid for and your sustenance, like food and stuff. So that's not too bad.
Yeah. I don't really want to do it, but I do think it's my duty to do it, to be honest.
Well, no pressure, but I think you should do it.
Yeah, so do I. But
because honestly, I don't want you to be thinking like in 20 years' time, why didn't I do it? You don't want to live in regret.
You don't want to live in regret that I could have sent someone down for life. How you doing? Anyway?
Well, I've been really good. I've been looking forward to speaking about 2001: A Space Odyssey all week. Really, it's a great film, and I'm really excited to see what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, as always, I've got some interesting takes on this, which I don't think people are going to like. But don't worry, I thought that this was wicked. Okay. But a big fan. I'm just not sure I would classify it as a film. It's a lot of what this is about. But before we get into
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I think I've got a decent grasp of it. I've got to be honest with you. I don't really understand the ending, and I don't think there's a meaning to the ending. And I'll explain why I think that later, before you start telling me about these sequels. Yeah, should do some comments.
Big up, Billa. How you doing? Is there a way we can do these on a Tuesday or Wednesday? There's a lot of United content on at this time. I appreciate that, mate. Glad that you're tuning in. At the moment, I don't believe that's something we can do because our work schedules are quite tight. But it's not set in stone, so it's always something to talk about. And yeah, big up to you as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can think about it. But like, there's the work schedules. There's the fact that I watch these films on a Sunday night. So I like that's when I like to watch films. And also, football YouTube is dead. Don't worry about it. Come and Bart, right. All right.
Big up, Bart.
Yeah, Bart. Shout out, Bart. You did send me what you said was a short film that I thought was going to be 5 to 15 minutes, and it turned out to be an hour and a half. I haven't watched it yet, and I might get round to it, but a lot of the films that we pick are actually for selfish reasons that relate to projects that we're trying to do at the moment. We are getting through these films quite quickly. So I think maybe once a month or once every 2 months, something like that, we might have a fan submission. Like, would that be all right?
We can do that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. So I was thinking like once.
I like this comment. This comment's funny.
Yeah. Do you know what, right? Having watched this film, I'm far more sympathetic to that viewpoint now than I ever was. Like, I didn't know this came out in 1968, and I didn't know how good the special effects were. Big up Agile Beast.
Big up Agile Beast, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we understand that there's like, you know, the agenda-rich tactical devils are all on and stuff. And a lot of you are obviously quite interested in that sort of content. But this is just the time to do it. And
now I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
I understand, because we might get more viewers. I understand that. So.
Why would we get more viewers though? Because like if like it's a film channel, it's not a United film channel.
Yeah.
But I you know, we're known from football YouTube, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, let us know initial thoughts on what was it? A Space Odyssey 2001, lads.
Yeah.
Like, Bilal, you haven't seen this, have you? I think it was just me and Bilal that hadn't seen Space Odyssey 2001. I know Agile Beast had seen it, and you'd obviously seen it, and I think Bart has as well.
I'm just posting into the chat. It's basically a trailer for the next film we're doing after this. But for
what are you doing? Delete that comment. That's not how we do things, Tyrone, is it?
Let's get on with the discussion. It's no big deal.
Fucking hell. All right, fine. Jesus Christ. I told Tyrone, here's a link. At the end, stick it in. Sticks it in not even 2 minutes into the show. Oh dear. All right. Tyrone, why did you pick this film?
For me, this film is a film that kind of like, it's basically like the original sci-fi epic, and it's like a film that's kind of like inspired other films. Obviously, we watched Interstellar before this. You know, you got your Star Wars, your Star Trek. It was like the first one to kind of showcase a good film in space, realistically showcasing like what space travel could be like, but doing it in a realistic way, I believe. The opening scene, the opening bit where you see the planet,
the monkeys.
Obviously, yeah. Well, even before that, where obviously you see the film title before it, like after you see it's just plain black.
I've got to be honest. I thought there was something wrong.
Space Odyssey at the end.
I thought there was something wrong with the copy I had when that started, because it's almost 3 minutes of a blank screen and classical music. So I thought I had audio visual issues. But yeah, it's a good film. I just really like this. I really like this film. Agile Beast likes it as well. Well, Bilal, did you not watch the film?
He must have watched it.
I don't know. Right, so Agile is saying the movie is about the evolution of man. It shows the monkeys. And
they're homonyms, aren't they? It's basically
they're not homonyms, they're hominids. A homonym is where something sounds like something else. But yeah, like the monkey men are wicked. What did you think of that kind of like? Because to me, that told a story at the beginning. Should we call it the prologue? What did you think was going on there for you?
It's basically showing like obviously how man started out, you know, not knowledgeable about tools, like lacking basic knowledge like of how to progress, struggling in harsh conditions. And obviously the monolith is the intelligence that comes from another world, I believe, and then that kind of opens up their consciousness.
Right, that was your interpretation.
Yeah.
What about the violence?
Yeah, well, the violence, that's basically obviously a more aggressive tribe coming in. That was all about control and survival. That's all it was. It basically kind of tells us that nothing's changed
Right, have I got this
from
wrong
back
then?
then, because it's something we still
Have
do.
I misunderstood this? Because my understanding of the first scene was we've got the monkeys, and then another tribe comes in. They're at a watering hole, okay? And the other tribe gets pushed out, and they go somewhere else. They see the monolith. They then make weapons out of a skeleton. They then go on a hunt, and they come back stronger and drive the colonists away and take back their watering hole. Is that wrong?
I think everyone just interprets this film differently. By the way, I've just done a bit of research. It is hominins. It's just recently changed from hominids. So, thank you for correcting me, but I was right.
Okay, well, I apologise, but there's a bit of irony in using hominin. But that really changes the meaning to me a lot, because what I sort of saw from this first scene is, if you want to sort of argue the conscious route, I think Agile said earlier on, in fact the credit says it says the dawn of man. The first action is a violent action having power over others, over something you could have cooperated with, which is the supply of the water. I thought that it was that the birth of man was one of violence, was the meaning, and it was somehow linked to this monolith, which could be a stand-in for lots of different things, to be honest. Religion, aliens, consciousness, whatever you really want it to be. But the key thing here is the violence, surely.
Yeah, it is the key.
And its technology is violent.
Yeah, and obviously the fact that they realize that they can use the bone as a weapon, the discovery of wow, we could use it for this purpose, discovering that moment. Yes, quite a powerful scene. I think for me, obviously looking back, the practical effects, some people would back then would have thought, they're quite impressive, but for me, it just looks like Planet of the Apes. I think that's the only
they're a little bit dodgy now. They're a little bit dodgy now, but as I say, I don't mind these things, because I was really struck with how well they moved.
Yeah.
Like the actors and things, they did a really good job, and the scenery is stunning. I don't know someone will know where that was filmed, but beautiful. It looked like Mars or something where it was being filmed. But I really liked it, because it was well shot, silent story, and I like those things. It reminds me a bit like the beginning of something like Wall-E, where a story is told with no dialogue, and it's understandable, and it sets the tone for a lot of stuff, i.e. a story being told with no dialogue. And you also have, because I hadn't seen this before, but I obviously know about quite a lot of the things that happen in this film, because they're just so it's so influential that you see it. I think I've seen a lot of it from The Simpsons, to be honest. I've definitely seen this scene with Homer in it. But I love the throw of the bone. I think it's called the bone cut, to the bone going up and then it getting cut into the space stations.
A great shot. It was a good transition, an amazing transition, how they did that.
And what do you think the point of it was? I imagine it's fairly well understood.
Just obviously technology moving from that moment and then morphing into what it's gone into years later.
Yeah, it's technology, isn't it? But do you know what I thought was absolutely amazing? Was they had the International Space Station up there. Do you think of that? That was I don't know, maybe 30 years before it was up there. That's how good the science is in the film. It's incredible.
What's incredible to me is obviously we're looking at special effects and how amazing they are, but Stanley Kubrick obviously had the set over here for the space scenes, I believe, and basically all built from scratch over here in England, and it's just to see what the studio was able to achieve is
That's
unreal.
the miniatures and the models and
Yeah,
stuff. Unbelievable.
great, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's. I think I've spoken about this before when we talked about Interstellar, but I personally think a lot of scientists are extremely misunderstood because the perception is of like cold atheists that love playing God, essentially. And this film is much closer to the sort of like the heart of the people that I know that work in pure mathematics or physics and stuff, where when you have stuff like the International Space Station twirling around and the docking sequences, it's got music, it's got the big sort of barren harshness of space, and it's got the sort of like the lovely movements, and it's this wonderful kind of ballet of science and numbers with a sort of greater meaning behind it. And I found these like even though it's like it shouldn't be that interesting, I found it like really beautiful, like the
What else?
way
Yeah,
the way you'd see it spinning, and then it would go to the cockpit view, and everything would be straight, and there's that lovely classical music playing. Such a weird.
Well,
It's like
I
a
found it
music
weird.
video. Yeah,
I found the choir a bit weird because obviously they're showing, especially like in the ape scene, like with the monolith and stuff, and it comes and you hear like the orchestra in the background, and it's quite eerie. I thought that was it was so powerful the way they did it, and like little touches really, like when you see the woman a bit later on, and she's got the grip shoes, and it's got the panel.
right.
Great.
That's the bit I texted you at.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't think of a better special effect I've seen than that pen floating and then her picking it up. That is one of. I was stunned watching it. Absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and this is why, for all them people that say Kubrick faked the moon landings, I now don't think that's as nonsense as I used to, because like so this came out in 68 and we went to the moon in 69. Like wild. And it's so cool because like when they're in that spaceship, I'm going to speculate a little bit here. I don't know, obviously, because I wasn't around in the 60s, but I've always had the idea that like air flight in the 50s, 60s and 70s was one of like the most extravagant, luxurious experiences someone could have. Like, and I love the fact that they've sort of transposed that to space travel.
Yeah.
Like, it's Agile put it in earlier. It's Pan Am. So is that Pan American Airlines?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt that this reminded me a little bit of Blade Runner. Like, do you remember in Blade Runner how they got like Coca-Cola and stuff in the future?
Yeah.
Like they're doing it here. Like this, I think the telephone kiosk was by Bell, which used to be a big American telecommunication company. But I thought it's poetic, is what I mean. It's just this lovely stillness that it has, and this economy of movement, and yet it gives you time to look at everything in the scene and take it in. And it's really, I know it's an old film, but it feels like a very fresh approach to filmmaking.
Yeah, it's kind of like him and like Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke. It really feels like they're way ahead of their time, and I think Arthur C. Clarke was a big influence because obviously he's the one who wrote the book before the film came out.
Right, so is this based on a book?
Yeah, Arthur C. Clarke. Yeah, he's the author, and you're kind of watching little scenes. It's the little touches. So like, there's scenes where the astronauts are being given their food by the lady with the grip shoes, and you're looking at the monitor. You've got time to kind of look at the monitor and see all the information on it, and it's all very, very accurate. And Arthur C. Clarke was a mathematician himself, studied a lot of like scientific theories and stuff, and also knew about a lot of research that was going on at the time in the 60s with AI, and there's loads of technology that scientists were kind of discovering and testing back then that it would kind of blow your mind. Like obviously You know, we're on WhatsApp and we can like FaceTime each other and things like that. All these things were very much possible during those days. They just hadn't brought it out to the public yet.
I'll tell you what,
It's quite interesting.
the thing that blew my mind was in that telephone kiosk. I don't know. I think it might be called a dial-up phone. I vaguely remember them. Do you remember the ones I mean, where there was like a circle and you put your finger in it and you had to drag it about?
Yeah. My nan had one of them.
Yeah, one of them. The fact that they had a digital keyboard in that telephone kiosk, I was really impressed with. Like, I don't know if that was the technology at the time, but everyone would have had like the sort of the springy phones.
Yeah, and back then they would have. Yeah.
And like because when I was watching this, I'll give you my theory on what they were trying to do a little bit later. But it's I don't think this is a film. This is like visual poetry, what I was seeing. Rotary phone, Mr. Beast, thank you. Shout out Mr. Beast.
Yeah, but that's what makes the film so powerful, because it's not a typical sci-fi epic with loads of dialogue. Do you know what I mean? It's a film where there's lots of moments where you're kind of watching the actors or actresses moving around, and you're hearing the orchestra over it. It's kind of like
sort of
it's almost like
video.
a document. It feels it's almost like a documentary in some ways, because they're kind of like it's like they're documenting space travel, but in a film.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of looking at it. Actually, that it is like as a sort of like a future documentary. Yeah, and it also has like it's kind of changed a lot of my views on filmmaking. Well, not changed them, but it's solidified a lot of my views, which is that at the moment, like I'm assuming you lads have seen Blade Runner 2049 and Dune. No,
I've not. I'm not a fan of Dune. I found the first film quite boring. Not really.
Have you seen the recent one though?
I've got into Blade Runner 2049. I need to watch the whole film because I fell asleep at the time. So
okay, all right. Well,
at least watch it.
The director of that is called something like Denis Villeneuve.
Okay.
I know. I've seen an interview where he spoke about this about his filmmaking before, and what I thought was really, really interesting is that I like stories where it's fairly clear what is going on, but there's like this stuff outside of it. So I always use this example of like, you watch Aliens, it's, let's strap two guns together and fight the alien queen. It's like, but outside of that, it's got a lot of analogues for the Vietnam War and things like that. And so it builds outwards. Watching this film is quite interesting to me because its language is primarily music and visuals, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't rely on dialogue very much. It's got a real economy, and the storytelling is visual, which is what you'd think a film is. But what I found more interesting about this was you're given like the kind of metaphors, and you have to work it out from there. So it becomes very sort of based on your own interpretation rather than what an author has specifically set out to do. I obviously haven't seen the sequels and stuff, but I think that when you look at it for something like space, I think there's a really clever thing that they've done, or I've come up with, which is that everyone here and everyone throughout history has spent at least 10 minutes just looking at the stars.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, where did we come from? Mm-hmm. Why are we here? Or in my case, I just think, look how insignificant the stars are. Miles away, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm joking. But I think that this film does something very, very similar when it shows you extended periods of stellar imagery. And it doesn't give you anything but just music and a visual. And I think it sort of primes you to think about these things. And it's a very effective and powerful way of making a film, relying on the sort of strength of the image and its strength on you. And I prefer actual stories, but this and Dune and things like that use this it's almost like it's telling a story to your subconscious and you've got to work it out rather than telling a story. I thought it was really interesting.
It is interesting because a lot of people watch it and they come up with their own thing. I think the film means a lot of different things to different people. It depends how you look at it. A lot of things within the film are quite ambiguous. It's just how you take it, really.
This is almost my point.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
All right? Can I finish my? Can I finish this, or do you want me? Well, my point is, for example, that there's a theory, right, that everything that you think about is based on one of three things. It's the mother, the father, or the child. Like everything, it's called a metaphorical sublimate, and that everything can be boiled down to that. It's how you frame stuff. And so at the end, for example, we see a big baby in an amniotic sac. Because because a baby is literally one of the most powerful metaphors that we have, I actually don't think that there's any right or wrong interpretation of this. I think that a bit like the way you go out and discover space as a sort of explorer or on an odyssey, I think the point is that it tries to make you think that it's the journey to get to your opinion is the important thing. So it feels like a very experimental avant-garde film to me.
Okay.
What do you think to that?
Yeah, I like the fact that you seem to find the film quite interesting, which is good. That's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good film. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know why you think I'm going to shit on this film. I think it's a good film.
No, I didn't think you were going to shit on it. I was thinking to myself, what is he gonna find something he doesn't like about it though? And that's what I'm waiting for.
The third act is messy. That's as far as I'll go.
What did you think about the stylistic choice of the monolith as like the intelligence? What did you think about that choice? I thought it was.
I wouldn't say that it is intelligence. I would say that it's probably proof of intelligence, which are two different things. Look, to be honest, it reminded me of the Ten Commandments. Like, you know, the word of God inscribed on a big block. Or for our younger viewers, when Ed Miliband carved all the Labour promises out into stone and put them up. Do you remember that? But yeah, I mean, I have to say, the alien stuff didn't. I know that extraterrestrials and things is a big interpretation in all of this, but I saw it more spiritually than I did like alien-wise. But once again, it's a block of stone, a block of black stone is something that I consider to be a bit of a metaphor. Like you look at it and you have to think, you just don't see it as just a stone. It must mean something, and I think this is where they're kind of going with it.
They were, I think Stanley Kubrick, he has spoken about the extraterrestrial thing. He did say they did think about showing extraterrestrials at the end, but they thought it would take away from the film.
Completely agree.
And I agree as well. It's better that you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's better that you use your imagination.
Exactly. You don't want answers, man. Like, this film is set up to it's like a do your own adventure or something. It doesn't need answers at the end. Have we had any good comments? What's actually I was saying? The whole movie is supposed to be an odyssey.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, because the Odyssey is about a man trying to get home to his wife and son after a war. I know it means like a long journey, but it's actually a homecoming. It's Odysseus trying to get back to Penelope and Telemachus, and I think things like Star Trek are highly influenced by the Odyssey. But this strikes me more as like Magellan or Christopher Columbus something like that setting off into the unknown rather than like, yeah, I don't, I mean, like, obviously they've called it a Space Odyssey, so maybe that's what they're trying to invoke. But for me, the Odyssey is a homecoming. And it's about, like, I feel that Interstellar is more of an Odyssey because they want to get home. In this, I don't know if, if John Astronaut is desperate to get home. Having said that, there is that bit with the girl and the birthday. And the astronauts miss their birthday, don't they?
With regards to Odyssey and the title, it was just because Stanley Kubrick was a fan of Homer and the Iliad, so he decided to put that in the title. But yeah, that was mainly the reason he chose it.
Well, I'm a fan as well.
But those scenes with the daughter, obviously, and the man, he knows something because obviously he meets up. His name's Hayward Floyd, and he's traveling to the moon. It's a secret mission, and it's quite interesting because obviously he meets a few other people who are involved in the mission, but they don't know the answers that he knows. He keeps everything quite guarded because I don't know if you remember, but there's a scene where all the astronauts are posing for a picture and then they're getting close to the monolith, and then you hear that loud sound.
Yeah, I do remember that, Tyrone.
Yeah.
That was very fucking loud.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored this scene with the Russian and the American. I can't tell you how much I loved it, because now with like social media and stuff like that, we spend a lot of time talking to each other with quite a lot of contempt. Like, if someone expresses an opinion on Twitter, there'll be 20 people telling them they're a fucking idiot straight away. And I'm guilty of this as well. Like, when I used to do football content and stuff, there were people that couldn't run 100 meters talking about how slow our players were, or people didn't play and stuff. But the way people spoke to you was unbelievable at times. It was crazy. And so when I was watching this scene, not only did I love that we had a smart American, and maybe because of the Marvelification of films, where they're always making stupid jokes, like this kind of way of talking has dropped off. But they had so much respect for each other. Like, they were talking about coming to, come and visit us in Nebraska or whatever. And Dr. Kalashnikov, I've heard so much about you. I'm a big fan of your work. But at the same time, this idea of they're playing a game. They want to know something. He doesn't want to tell them. And they're using all the different rhetorical tools, but they're doing it so politely. And I thought it was absolutely wonderful. So don't see scenes like that anymore. But more importantly, do you remember the things the monkeys fought about?
So they're fighting over the water and basically food and water, survival.
Yeah, staying alive. And I felt that it reminded me of that scene, because here you can see the progression of man, where they're not beating each other up. They're still competing over a resource. But now it's much more civilized and ordered and things. And yet there's still a bit of needle, a bit of aggro there. So I thought that this was wicked. And I know Bilal said that he would have liked more dialogue. I'd have loved more of these kind of scenes in it, to be honest, because I just thought this was wicked. It's my favourite scene in the whole film.
Yeah, it's great.
And then he calls his daughter, and didn't really come back to nothing. Really, sort of came back from that, did it? She was very good.
No, she was good. It was basically he's just saying hello to his daughter for her birthday, and hope you have a good birthday. I'll see you soon. And it was nice. That scene was nice with him and the man, because he's like, we're having a barbecue. Why don't you bring the daughter around? It's nice. This is like proper, like, civilized conversation.
Polite and orderly.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not too dissimilar how we would speak to friends at Sunday football, is it? It's exactly the same. But obviously these.
I don't know about that. I know what you mean.
Highly educated gentlemen just having a conversation. Yeah. Very good.
Well, we are highly educated gentlemen, Tyrone, isn't it? Yeah, like, no, because it's interesting, because it's like, it's showing that this civilization in space, I suppose. And The other thing it does is with the with chatting to his daughter on the, like, let's just call it the iPad. I wonder now if this was a regular experience for Americans at the time, because, like, you know, the traveling salesman who would go all around the country trying to flog whatever it is they were flogging. Like, maybe that was sort of showing, like, in the future you'll be able to speak to them and it will be better and things like that. It felt optimistic, a lot of the opening, like, you know, just how civilized and gentrified everything was, and, you know, it kind of felt like Victorians in space, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I wish we could have a much more polite society.
Yeah, the entire film takes you on that journey, though, doesn't it? It's just like, obviously, after that bit, after we get past the moon landing bit, when the monolith makes that loud sound, we start to meet John Astronaut, who's in the film. He's called Dave Bowman, and obviously we see his partner, who's going to be out there with him. But before then, we see a scene where they're speaking to the HAL 9000. Hal. That was a great scene. Great scene.
I sort of like. I'd like to continue on the moon just a little bit longer.
All right, let's carry on talking about the moon then.
I absolutely loved the symmetry and the framing of the shots when all the astronauts were walking about. I don't know a lot about cinematography, but it was so cool. Like,
but it's the way they get to he films them in slow motion as well, so accurately. That's what blew my mind.
And you see the Earth in the background and this like, lunar base, and also the docking sequence again for the moon was beautiful. And I can sort of see where George Lucas got a lot of his crazy ideas for window designs inside TIE fighters, because it really echoed the landing of that. And I loved the formality of the meeting where you find out, you know, that there's a cover story, that we've got conspiracy, that they aren't telling us the truth. And I can't even remember what they said. It was a disease in it, or an outbreak or something.
No. What happened was they got onto the moon and they found something which they believed to be extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, no. They told the Russians though it was an outbreak.
Yeah, they said there's an outbreak that basically COVID on the moon.
Yeah,
lying, basically
moonvid.
Yeah. Moonvid, yeah.
And then
someone bit into a piece of cheese and it's contaminated everybody.
Yeah, man. There's flying bats everywhere. Someone's eaten them. And I also, do you know the bit I loved is that when they're going to the moon, they're just like chomping away inside this sort of like little spaceship. Like, and it just,
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I really love the gentle pace, and it's, you get this in films from the 50s and 60s and 70s where characters have to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Or people wouldn't like them. And I think that's really, it's really interesting way of like looking how to write characters and stuff. It's that now, you know, like a character like that you would see as a sort of pushover or something. You know, he's not saying what he thinks. Like, you think of Big Brother and stuff. Mate, if you think my hair is shit and I'm not funny, just tell me to my face. No. Yeah. Just be polite about it. Like, but whatever. But yeah, I think that this sort of first act on the moon was wicked fun. I really, really liked it, and I wasn't a big fan, I've got to say, of the massive screeching from the monolith. I don't like loud noises unless I'm making them.
I didn't mind it because obviously you've got the eerie music with the orchestra in the background. Shout out to them because it must have been difficult to do that. And yeah, I think the loud. You didn't see it coming, but it made sense because they're about to take a picture by it. Obviously, whatever this intelligence is doesn't want them to be doing what they're doing. They're getting a bit too close to what they're trying to find, and then all of a sudden, bang!
You think it's intelligence?
Yeah, I believe, that's what I believe.
Natural or artificial?
That's a good question. Natural.
I
but
would
obviously
go.
different to us.
I would find it much more persuasive to go artificial intelligence, because if you stick a big red dot in the middle of it, it's HAL. Like HAL is just the monolith with a red eye.
That's a good interpretation, you know.
That's kind of what I saw. Like, where's Agile? Agile, what are you saying about all of this? Because I know you really like this. What do you think about the what do you think the monolith is? Bilal as well. I know you're running through your joke book, but when you pop that down, because I think that it's proof of something. I'm just not completely sure that it was alien life, as it were.
Or is it human beings who've advanced to the point where we've merged with artificial intelligence and it's us? It could be humans, but an advanced form of human, if that makes sense.
Ah, look, it's Mr. Richard. Hello, Rich. I hope you're well. I haven't spoken to you for a while, so I hope everything's all right. We're just arguing about what a big rock in the moon means. Like, I don't know, because so when it's there, Tyrone, I think you're meant to think back to the prologue and the monkeys all running around the monolith. What's different there?
Sorry, ask again. Sorry, I was with the chat. Say again. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So in the monologue, we get the monolith and the monkeys like running about it.
Yeah.
Now we get the moon men like running around taking photos. Is there anything like kind of different, like, or similar? Because it's got to be something that invokes, they've got to like rhyme with each other, as it were, or reference each other.
They've both obviously the advanced humans and the prehistoric humans. You can see there's a curiosity there. They're asking themselves a question: what is this? Do you know what I mean? Without actually having to say it. But I believe the advanced human beings, the astronauts, they're a little bit. They don't fear it as much, which is a mistake. Which is why you hear this sound go off.
This was my interpretation of it. Is that we know, or at least I think, that when the monkeys are exposed to the monolith, they become violent, right?
Yeah.
And then we don't see them interact with the monolith again. Mm-hmm. But they're like, the monkeys are us, basically, aren't they? And so when the moon men turn up, who have already got the violence in them, it reacts violently to them. That was because when I was watching it, I was thinking, right, get my real talk glasses on. There's going to be something here that's important compared to that scene. And I couldn't find it. And that's the best that I could do with. That's the best that I could come up with.
I don't know. Is that what you're interpreting it? That loud sound is a bit of violence?
Yes. I know it's meant to be the signal, but it's a violent reaction. It's because it hurts them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it hurt me.
It gets right into your ears. It's not a scary scene. What I'm saying, it's a very eerie scene. And I don't know, it's the way they've done the scene. It's such a strange movie in a lot of ways, isn't it? First time I watched
As I say, I don't think it's a film. It's not a traditional film. It's like
it's a film, but in a different way. It's a completely different way of
It's like normally a film, right? It's a recipe, and you put all the ingredients together, and you get a lovely lasagna at the end of it. Here, there's just this soup stuck in. See what you make of it.
Yeah,
like in a sort of in a 14th century tavern. There's this nondescript simmering bowl, and just get on with it. And Rich has mentioned Full Metal Jacket. Is that on our list? Because I haven't seen that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. This is the first Stanley Kubrick film I've ever seen, because I've watched, I would say, 20 minutes of The Shining when I was about 11, and I thought it was dreadful. And I've never watched one since. And I think I might have made a mistake having watched this film. So I'm quite excited for a bit more Kubrick.
It's meant to, basically, there's a lot of theories regarding the moon scene. So obviously, that kind of signal that we hear, that we kind of interpret as a bit of violence, in the film, it kind of tells us that it's like a radio signal, but it goes from the moon to Jupiter. So it's signaling to Jupiter. So basically, there's another
I've got no issue. I've got no issue with that. It's just I still think it's a violent reaction. And Agile is giving us quite a lot of numbers, but I'm not quite sure what we're meant to do with this Agile. Like 1 to 4 to 9. Like I think that's cool in terms of sort of like the design and the attention to detail, but does it have a narrative point? Like, for example, do the spaceships and things have similar ratios? Does HAL have a similar ratio? Like, what's a bit of context to kind of get that in? To like, is there any context to it, or is it just like a kind of factoid that you know?
Some fans speculate that the monolith signal was sent as a warning or a beckoning to humanity, inviting them to explore or testing their readiness for the next phase of evolution.
Yeah, now that's a good interpretation, because it could be a warning or it could be a come and say hello. That is, I like that, because that's up to you. Because, as I say, I think this film starts off quite optimistic and it gets progressively more pessimistic the longer it goes on, to me. But as I say, I think this is a choose your own interpretation. So, for example, some people might see that ending as really optimistic.
Yeah.
When I have no real firm view on what the fuck the ending is. All right, HAL part 2, yeah.
Yeah. So part 2, the Discovery 1, Journey to Jupiter. Fantastic spacecraft. It looks amazing on the outside.
It's wicked.
It's great, isn't it? It's just fantastic. Obviously, you've got I believe you've got 3 people in stasis. You've got you've got John Astronaut and his buddy, and you've got HAL, which is it's pretty crazy. I can't remember the character's name, the second guy. I know he has his birthday on board, I believe.
I mean, what I loved about this, Tyrone, is once again the practical effects are off the chain.
Yeah.
Like the way he's like running around that loop and the way it's filmed is just insane. Like it genuinely felt like watching magic.
Yeah. That's
like,
what
I felt like a kid.
But I couldn't believe it, right? Because like obviously when I think the first time I watched this film was it was during the pandemic, because there was not much to do.
Were you stuck inside by yourself?
For a few weeks I was, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was like, how? Throughout COVID, just.
So obviously I went on Rotten Tomatoes and I was like, what are some of the best sci-fi films? And it said 2001: A Space Odyssey, number 1. I thought, what, 1968? But I thought, all right, I'll give it a chance. And I was blown away. The special effects, I couldn't believe how good they were for the time. Seriously.
They're amazing for now.
Yeah.
They're absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely, I mean, I watched something. What did Sarah make me watch? It was called Ant-Man Quantum Realm or something like that. And it was the biggest pile of drivel I'd seen for years. And it was just, it looked like someone had sicked up special effects on the screen. There was no depth. There was just, they were just god awful. And I watched this and it's so clean, like everything's white and shiny, and it's, the kind of false perspective that they use, like reminds me a little bit of Lord of the Rings, where when you first watch Lord of the Rings, you are like quite impressed. You are a bit like, how the fuck have they done that? Like made Gandalf be bigger than Elijah Wood, and it looks so good. And when I was watching this, I genuinely was astonished by what I was seeing. And
But I'm astonished because they didn't have access to what filmmakers have access to now. So it's like you look at it and you're like, wow.
I wish they didn't, so that they could cut, because it's everything's in focus. You can. They want you to look at everything there and take it all in because they're so proud of what they've done. And when I watched Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm, it was just everything was soft focus. Don't worry about that. It's just a bit of CGI sick spunked over the screen, and it annoyed me. And so this was wow. And it's also like the sort of like the imagery and the language that they use is something we're so used to now. Like someone's in status, they're in hypersleep. Yeah, no worries. We all know what that means. But this is the first time, isn't it, that people have seen that? And
people wouldn't have known about these sort of things. So it would have opened people's eyes. But it's mad how they've done it so. Like Arthur C. Clarke is a genius. I think he needs as much credit as Kubrick because he's. I believe he's the one who wrote the scrolplay, and I think
he's like the Tolkien of sci-fi, isn't he? He's like it's him and Asimov for like the. I'm going to shock you. I'm not as big into sci-fi as I am fantasy, for example. Okay. I do like Three Body Problem a lot, though. But it was when I was watching this, I was thinking of things like Aliens, where, like, I always bring up Aliens. It's one of my favourite films. But there's a bit in Aliens where they go into the nuclear reactor and they all start dying. And you see their life signals, like, they've all got like heartbeats and stuff on a monitor. And I was like, they've got it from this.
Yeah.
Like, what wonderful visual storytelling that no one had seen before, showing your vital signs and doing them properly. Like, with that heartbeat.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was watching it thinking, Jesus Christ, this actually was the future.
Yeah.
Like, this is all correct. The International Space Station does this. You have to kind of like whiz about, and also shout out to John Astronaut doing exercise in space, like he's punching and things. So beautiful, like
fantastic.
But still, not sure it's a film. It feels like something else.
It basically feels like you're watching astronauts in space, and you've basically got like a hidden camera, and you're just watching it. That's how they've done it. It's incredible.
Yeah,
brilliant film.
And I also like now. This is something that actually does annoy me a little bit because this happened in Alien Earth. Is this film is where delayed telecommunication has got into the public consciousness from the BBC 12 interview that they did, where there's like a 7-minute delay or something like that, and I thought that was one of the cool. This is my second favourite scene in the film, is the interview with the BBC about HAL.
Fantastic, isn't it?
What a way to set it up.
It was a brilliant interview. And shout out, I forgot the guy's name. I think his name's Douglas something. I forgot his name, but Scottish actor. But like, what a brilliant voice! Like the voice actor for HAL, like the way he does it so well. It's incredible.
So like, passive aggressive and threatening.
Yeah. You know what? You might not agree. I think we've had a lot of villains in sci-fi. I think he's the most scary villain, and all it is a black screen and a red dot. That's it.
I think he's up there with like Darth Vader. I think he reminds me a lot. Have you seen One Flew Over a Cuckoo Nest?
No.
Okay, well that'll be on the list then. There's a villain in that called Nurse Ratched, who reminds me a lot of HAL. But yeah, I mean, but what I love about it is what's so cool about what they do is they humanize HAL straight away. Yeah. Like they start off calling him HAL 9000, and then they give him a name of HAL. And then they make it really important that he's just another one of the crew.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Like that you see it as a human thing. And that's even before you get in. Is this the first example of sort of Skynet rogue AI that has been?
First time. It's the first time shown on film.
Wow.
I know. Unbelievable, isn't it? Like, I can't believe I didn't know about this film years ago. Seriously, because it's like, it's just so true to what we have now. It's mental.
It's stunningly prophetic.
It is, and it's like, it's mad. Where the interviewer asks John Astronaut, I sensed a bit of a prideness when he said in Hal's answer when he said he's perfect. He's basically incapable of human error, and the astronauts are like, yeah, we just see him as a member
One
of
of the crew.
We don't really know if he has emotions. He could have emotions. That's something you'd have to ask him. And I'm thinking it's meant to be just a computer. But
yeah, it's. I also think it's like it's quite good, right? That because it's a secret mission and it's secret from them. But I love the fact that there's almost this idea that there's a news narrative, and that all the kids back home are most interested in the talking computer.
Yeah.
Rather than
but if you was a kid. If you was a kid watching, if we were kids like back in the day and there was a computer like that, we'd be wanting to listen to the computer more than
absolutely,
as well.
Absolutely. And so I think that's just a really good understanding of like human psychology. Agile, that is a very good comment. I never even thought about that, but I think you're right. He says that one of the astronauts looks like Samuel Luckhurst.
He does actually now.
He does. I didn't even think about that. Poor Samuel Luckhurst.
I thought he looked like what's his name? Jim Parsons from The Big Bang.
Really?
A little bit, yeah.
I hate the fact you call it The Big Bang. Like,
Big Bang Theory.
I do not like that show at all. Annoys me. Let's have. I just want to check some of the comments because. Bilal is saying he died making Eyes Wide Shut, didn't he? I don't know, but I do know why Harvey Keitel got fired from Eyes Wide Shut, and you can use the internet to find out why, because it is pretty wild what he did.
I've heard a lot of theories about Eyes Wide Shut. I will say that after the show.
All right. The monolith's primary function is to act as a catalyst for evolution. Now, that is exactly the interpretation that I took from it, Agile, but who sent it is the thing I'm most interested in, and it really comes down to aliens or God, really. I think, doesn't it? But I agree with you that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is an excellent film. It's very, it'll be quite a personal film for me and Tyrone in some ways, but. Yeah, like I think that like Act 2, the setup is it's so delicious, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then, so am I right in thinking we get the BBC interview and then we get him getting a phone call from his parents?
Yeah. So one of the astronauts gets a phone call from his parents, basically wishing him a happy birthday. And just saying, yeah, we're proud of you, and we hope to see you soon. It's a good scene. It's a very good scene. It's his birthday. Obviously, they blow out the candles. They actually blow the candles out for him because he can't have it. But yeah, I thought the scene was quite good. It's like it's a great theme in it to show family, the importance of family, and speaking to your loved ones, and the fact that even though you're all the way up in space, you can still connect to them, which is great.
Well, it also it kind of ties into the phone call with the daughter earlier as well. I think, like, I think you kind of have to have not these stakes, but something that kind of grounds you to the fact that these are people. Because is it the guy who dies?
Yeah.
It's him who's his parents, Ren.
Yeah. And I think they show the family deliberately as well, because obviously that's why they're scared. The fact that they've got this AI that runs the whole ship. I think that's another reason why they show the family, to show that, we could end up stuck. Imagine if we're stuck out here and we can't get back to them. It's another.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen yet, does it?
No, it doesn't happen yet. But it's like they're showing all these things, preparing us for what comes later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it's grounding the. It's kind of like grounding the suspense for you, because you can't relate to these people whizzing about up in space, but you can relate, a bit like Agile said earlier about this being an odyssey. You can relate to the idea of trying to get home to your loved ones. So I think that was cool. And then what happens next? Like, it's something goes wrong, doesn't it? And they have to go and fix it.
Not yet. So we also get a scene where Hal is having a game of chess with.
That's right.
With Dave Bowman, and they're having a game of chess. But then Hal says he mentions something about feeling like this is quite a strange mission. He has a few reservations about.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And it's obviously relating to something being dug up on the moon. The thing is, Hal is very clever. Obviously, he's using all these techniques to kind of like, make them think that he's afraid. But he knows things that they weren't told, which comes later on. So.
So he knows that he knows those things, does he?
Basically, the people that have sent them all up there, they've told Hal, this is what happened on the moon. This is what.
Yeah, but Hal knows that already, does he?
He knows, and he's been told to lie.
That's interesting.
He's been told to lie. He's basically been told to lie to all the crew on board. And the reason why it fucks him up is because it fucks up with his programming, because he was designed not to tell lies. So
right, because that makes sense. I also wondered if the signal might have had something to do with it.
No, it's not the signal. He's basically trapped because obviously he's designed not to tell lies, but obviously the government have told him this is what you've got to do. They can't know about it at all. And,
because it's John Astronaut from the Russians that is on that video player, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought I really liked the scene where Hal is expressing worries.
Great scene. You
Really
never
cool.
trust him though. I never trusted him because I thought.
No, I never trusted him because I know who Hal is. Like, I haven't seen the film, but everyone knows that Hal is the bad AI. Like, I think he's definitely in an epic rap battle between Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and HAL 9000. So I knew that he was bad.
But you can understand what some of the decisions he makes. Obviously, it's not right, but you can kind of understand. I mean, as far as he's concerned, he's alive the way human beings are.
And what was the first thing that happened at the dawn of man?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that's what I was kind of taking from it, is that Hal has got sentiment, and also it has to be, you have to see the scene of him unplugging the cartridges as being death.
That was death, of course it was. He was dying.
Yeah. So he's
very
alive.
Sad scene. You feel you don't. It's a computer, obviously, but it's
I felt sorry for him.
It's a dark scene, isn't it?
It's very the way he's singing "Daisy, Daisy, Tell Me You Love Me Do," which is like, yeah, it's a beautiful. There's a beautiful intent in that song. Do you know what I mean? About it's a guy who wants to get married to a girl and all this kind of stuff, and it's it's a kind of like a nursery rhyme and stuff, and the reverb on his voice and stuff. Like, it's definite. It really does evoke the idea of an old person dying to me.
Very sad.
Yeah, and the thing is I found that far more effective. Like, that it affected me more than John Redshirt like getting killed. And the one thing I didn't like, because it annoyed me, was the sound of him breathing in these scenes.
I didn't mind that. Because it kind of showed me tells us how scared he is. I didn't mind that at all.
I thought something had gone wrong with one of my computers. I had to get up and check that my the fans were working properly.
Just he's scared. I mean, he's just watched his friend die. He didn't want to die either. So
let's get it in order, innit? Like, so we get some scenes with Hal playing chess, and he beats him at chess and stuff, which obviously they're going to have a game of deadly chess later. And then Hal obviously having reservations, but then there's this thing about, is Hal wrong? And he blames it on humans.
Yeah, so he says there's something wrong, basically. Something's gone wrong with the ship. And the two astronauts, they speak to not only the people back on Earth, but they speak to the twin HAL 9000, and HAL 9000 says there's nothing wrong at all, and it doesn't corroborate what the HAL 9000 on their ship is saying. So they're like, oh, obviously he must be wrong. Do you know what I mean? And then they're a bit sneaky, sly. They decide to go away from him and discuss things in private, but they don't cover their mouths. The
Premier League players wouldn't have been caught out by this.
I know. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. I saw.
Why? But they're so stupid, though. They should have known that.
Oh, they should have known. But I mean, about a year ago, I got asked to do some coaching for an under-9 girls team, and even the under-9 girls were like covering their mouths at set pieces, talking to each other. Amateur mistake.
Very.
But I think it was actually executed really well, that you understood that Hal was lip reading. I know he says it later, but it's you understand that he's super clever and he can do anything. And I also liked how kind of mature the pilots were, the astronauts were, with the conversation about could be this, could be that. If it is this, let's do that. Okay, let's get on with it. I really like that. I like seeing capable men in films.
They're both definitely very capable. That's why they're in space.
Well, I think it's much better when like you have a plan. Well, it's just like in a horror film or something. If someone gets killed because they're an idiot, that's fine, no problems. But it's just much better when people who were meant to be scientists and physicists and stuff actually show some kind of gumption and things. And I really like seeing that, like they handled it sensibly and all that, and they weren't joking about it or talking about the worst case scenario. It was just very sort of pragmatic. I'd like to see that come back into modern filmmaking.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think.
Well, then one of them gets killed.
Yeah, so he has to go out and he has to do something outside the ship, and then Hal does something. Which what did you think about that bit when he's out in space and he's literally rolling around? That was that was crazy shot actually.
Loved it.
It was so good at.
Well, I really like the pastel colours of their spacesuits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, which I didn't think was something I was ever going to reference on this show. But I really like the space suits. I loved, earlier on, I was talking about how everyone at some point in their life would have spent 5 or 10 minutes looking at the stars, wondering. I loved how slow it was with them going out there and things. The loneliness, the isolation, like letting your mind go to places with this beautiful poetic imagery, like a sort of a ballet on the screen and with the music. I thought it was fantastic. I don't know if it's filmmaking, but I think Bilal, who's probably off somewhere else now, mentioned The Martian earlier, which I don't know if you've seen that film or not. Yes, it reminded me a lot of The Martian as well.
Is Matt Damon in that?
He is in that. He eats potatoes made from his own shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Have you not seen The Martian?
No.
Oh, it's good. It's a really good film. Okay. Well, I might add that to the list as well.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think what impresses me in the film is the calmness as well. You know, like the initial chaos we get in the opening scene with the 8 men, and they're all like shouting, screaming, really violent and aggressive.
That's a really good point. Yes, I agree. I didn't think of that. That's a really good point.
You know,
like
you've
mastering
got these two
emotions.
Men. Yeah, because I mean, they're worried about how they're thinking he could go rogue, and yet they're discussing it in such a calm and collected manner. Do you know what I mean? Which I thought was pretty good.
And then one of them gets killed.
Yeah. And then,
but we also have him killing the people in stasis as well.
Yes, which is
why? Why did he do that?
See, this is the thing. It's like with the opening scene, you get the line where he says, you know, we're foolproof and incapable of human error. And that line is so like It's such a
Yeah.
key line, because that's not the case at all. This machine can make a mistake, it can panic, and that's the problem. It's too human for its own good.
Yes, there's a bit too much. Because it's almost become human, hasn't it? And
Yeah,
it reminded me a lot of Prometheus, which I think you've seen Prometheus, haven't you?
I have. I wasn't impressed with it though.
No, I wasn't either. But Hal and David have a lot of similarities, I feel like. And one of them is so in Prometheus, the idea is they're going off to meet a creator. And David is something that's being created by humans in the same way Hal is something that's being created by humans. And I was watching it thinking, is Hal going to have a conversation with the aliens? Is he trying to get rid of everyone because, he wants to talk to them? Has he just has he gone, what's going on here? And I found all of that interesting, like the sort of directions you could take it in and the fact that there's no firm answer. But it's also just how I think that Hal isn't being emotional, as it were. He is acting pragmatically. Like he's going to kill all the humans because it has to be human error. So eliminate the humans and you're perfect again. And then go and speak to this other, then go and then see what the aliens are chatting about. And so I quite like that. And I think, I think that's a really interesting idea. And then obviously John Redshirt gets killed and John Astronaut comes back and we get probably the most famous line from the film.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's up, Dave? I can't let you in. No one's at home at the moment.
Yeah.
Leave a message.
Brilliant scene.
Yeah.
Brilliant scene.
So creepy.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal. And it's like, it takes a while. Hal's like, I think he has to say it 4 or 5 times before Hal even.
Yeah, he's thinking.
It.
He's going through all the possibilities, and it's so good. It's like I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how this was going to end. So
scary though.
Well, I love the bit where he taunts him.
The bit where he says, "Without your space helmet,
exactly,
Dave, you're going to find it rather difficult."
Yeah, that's a polite taunt, isn't it? And it's once again, it kind of follows up from that scene where the monkeys are all shouting at each other and one gets beaten to death with a bone. And now it's a very similar thing, but it's just done politely. It's communicated differently, but it's still the same idea. And I enjoyed that. Open the pod bay door, Hal. Absolutely. You had to step out and take a phone call. All we really said, Agile, that we'd love your opinion on everything. What I'd most like your opinion on is why Hal killed the men in stasis, and if you thought a bit like me that there might have been some crossover from Prometheus, where David basically is the creation of humans going to see their creator. If there's any kind of anything that is kind of similar here. But yeah, then we get the death scene, Tyrone.
So there's a fan theory. Apparently there's people who think that Hal's actions reflect his fear of death, which I believe. He's tasked with ensuring the mission's success, but feels threatened by the humans' decision to deactivate him, as he believes his existence is crucial for the mission's survival. So I do understand. He's got this overinflated ego, hasn't he? He thinks,
How?
You want to deactivate. Yeah, he's like, you want to deactivate me, but without me, we can't do this mission.
It's interesting. Do you think he might have developed that ego when he's told he's wrong? I can't be wrong. I'm Hal 9000. I've never made a mistake, ever.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, and then we get the beautiful death scene. Luis Boamorte means beautiful death, by the way, the old Fulham player. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. The colours, the reds, the slow unplugging, the little nursery rhyme, great stuff.
But before, did we spoke about the pen floating? Was that John Astronaut's pen? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, no, that's on the Pan Am.
That's earlier
ship.
on, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's on Pan Am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, for some reason, I thought I saw it twice. I don't know why.
Yeah, Agile saying self-interest, like, because
Yeah.
it's what I got from it, Agile. Like, I'm sorry if you're listening to this again, repeating myself. I doubt anyone is. I think it's interesting that the first action of humans becoming conscious, like with the monkey men, was to kill someone, to beat them with the bone. And Hal, I think, has become conscious, like a human at this point, which is sort of contrasted by the fact he says human error. The other HAL 9000 is still a computer, whereas I think that he is sentient now, and his first action is to kill someone. Just like the monkey men.
But it's not just that, though. I think another thing that I never considered was obviously, like any AI that gets taught, it's taught about every single world event, isn't it? So HAL 9000 probably knows about human history and what humans have done over the years as well. So he probably looks down on humans. I've not killed anyone.
Maybe.
I've not gone to war.
He's also been treated like a human as well. Like, they think of him as another crewmate and stuff and things. It's an interesting one. And then we get into the third act where I'm, not overly impressed with the third act, I've got to be honest.
With the final mission to Jupiter.
Yeah, okay, you see a giant monolith in space, wicked. You see Jupiter, wicked. It's all wicked. And then we get this kind of editing SFX show reel. It reminded me of when they bring out a new games console and they just show a sort of test footage, like, look what we can fucking do now, lads. Knack 3. And here it's just, we've got helicopters taking shots of landscapes and we covered them red and green. Get in. And it didn't land for me, this bit. Parts of it were wicked to look at, like the galaxies and stuff, but 2 or 3 minutes of the landscapes, not for me.
Maybe less is more. Maybe just, traveling through space and seeing the stars would have been enough. Maybe they went a bit too hard on it.
I don't mind them doing this. It's just that I think this is the part of the film that has aged poorly, where there was no wonder in it.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
So I'm not dissing it, because I bet you it was incredible at the time and you're trying to make sense of what this is. And it's like, you could think of this is going into a black hole or something now and things and stuff. But this sequence wasn't for me. And then it just got, into what I call Umberto Eco land, which is just now make up some meaning to this.
Yeah.
And he's in a very beautiful 17th century French castle or something.
I believe I interpreted this last act as whatever it is, because you don't really, you have to interpret what you think it is. They're just observing him.
Yeah, I don't think this means anything. I don't think this means anything. I think that this is just putting very accessible tropes and weirdness for you to come up with what you think it is. He sees himself as an old man, then he's the old man, then he sees himself as a dying man, then he's the dying man. So your initial thought is about mortality, right? That this is like Shakespeare, this is like the 7 ages of man. And it didn't land for me, this bit. And then he turns into a big star baby. And
he spends obviously, it's obviously years and years he's with this intelligence out in space. He dies.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just obviously they can't show us that length of time, but he's obviously there with them for a hell of a long time. But they show it in a short space.
Why? Because he sees all those people when he gets there, and then he becomes them. I got the impression that this was a bit like Interstellar, where in Interstellar they go into the black hole and they turn up in a library, and time is you can go backwards and forwards and things in time. I got a similar kind of vibe from this. I might have been polluted somewhat by Interstellar here, but It's just a bunch of meaningless metaphors, is what I saw, with the only through line being about mortality and rebirth.
Yeah.
And so if that's what, if you want to tell me, right, that when you have Star Baby basically mirroring the moon, and throughout the film we've seen this recurring imagery of the sun and the moon with the monolith, you know, like when you look up.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to tell me that this is about the rebirth of humanity, because we've seen in every story that, like, we've seen in all parts, that there is violence and deception and subterfuge present in humanity, and now it's going to be reborn. That's going to go away, and we're going to ascend to what we should be. Absolutely fine. I'm fine with that interpretation. I just don't like. I just think that is what this is. This is make your own ending up, and I'm not overly keen on all of it, because I think the imagery isn't really very evocative. It's you're kind of meant to do the work, as it were, and so I'm not actually that bothered about what the interpretation of the ending is meant to be, because I'm fairly sure it's deliberately ambiguous, and it's kind of deliberate bait, you know, to sort of talk about and discuss.
Yeah, but we've seen humanity evolve, haven't we? So we've seen, like, the first stage from the hominins into humans who are on space stuff, and now I think that final bit is just basically you're seeing a human being become like a different kind of being. So I know it's a bit weird how the ending.
Yeah, it's a rebirth. It's definitely rebirth.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. But and those are obviously, everyone dies, everyone's born. These are ubiquitous things that will have happened to every single person who watches the film. And so because of that, I don't think it lands particularly hard, because I think it is just whatever you want it to be. I don't think that there's a clear or defined ending. I don't think there are any clues. And it felt very tacked on to me, to be honest.
I think Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke, I think they butted heads on the ending, because I think Arthur C. Clarke wanted to show us the extraterrestrials and he didn't want to. So they kind of like clashed on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm more with Kubrick on this. I don't think it needs aliens in it, because that's not what it's about. It's about it's what this is to me is this is just from the start of the film. We know this is about the journey of mankind, and something's got to die for something to be reborn. And so it's but normally, right? These are the things that these are the things that are hidden. So I'm trying to think of an example, but in most action films, there's a sequence where everything's going wrong and the main character's been shot, and then his eyes open and he's been reborn, as it were. Or a much better example is The Matrix. Neo dies, comes back to life more powerful than he was before, and he saves the day. Death and rebirth into something else, right? But these are things that are underneath the story. Here, this is the story, and this is why I'm not wildly keen on these kind of endings. I don't mind that it's ambiguous or whatever, but I just think it is a metaphor without any substance here.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
So, but if you love it, like I'm sure Agile loves it, Rich and Bilal are here as well, so we'll look at their interpretations. But if you love it, I've got no truck with that at all, no problem. It's just, for me, I find the third act to be very messy and pretty like unsatisfying. Good point.
Where the successful steps of AI to show real human intelligence is to demonstrate consciousness and the act.
Is that the Turing test, Agile?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Turing.
Okay. We got, so Bilal says, I think it's meant to be the first baby born with AI consciousness. I'm assuming that you don't think that, surely.
He's definitely fused with whatever intelligence is up there and become something completely different. You find out because there's a sequel to this film.
I don't care about the sequel. I've told you this. Tell me from the film. that we watched.
But there's no point because it doesn't explain it in the film.
Exactly.
You're not getting it.
No, I am getting it. I'm just saying that you shouldn't have another film to explain the ending of the last.
I think they'd always planned. No, but they'd always planned a sequel because it follows. This film follows the books.
Yeah, sequel got like Buzz Aldrin and like who were the men on the moon? Aldrin, Armstrong, and Michael Collins.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah. Do you know the third one, Michael Collins?
I'm not interested in all that nonsense.
What do you mean all that? Oh, you're not telling me that you don't believe in the moon landings either, like?
Well, of course not.
Yeah, obviously not. Well, yeah, forgive me, but you do think that De Ligt is one of the best centre backs in the world.
He's better than Maguire. I know. I'm messing around. It was definitely a mind fuck. But
it's impressive. It's impressive. Yeah. I just think that I think they bottled the ending a little bit, to be honest.
I understand where Agile Beast is coming to with this comment because it's not as good as the. It's definitely not as good as the first film.
I didn't know there was a sequel, to be honest. Is it?
I think it's a good film. 2010.
Is that 2010?
2010, yeah. 2010, the year we make contact.
Do you ever think, right, it's really weird that we're in 2025?
It just shows how far behind we are. We should have moved forward a bit more.
That has always been the future. Like, I asked my dad about it, like, this week, and said, like, is it weird living in 2025? And he said, I can't believe it. Like, I thought we'd be... Yeah, he was like, because he was born in, like, late 50s, I think. Yes, late 50s. So he was like, yeah, that was like, 70 years away. And we thought we were going to have like flying cars and stuff and things.
The Jetsons.
Yeah. And instead, I'm watching Luke Shaw at left back. Left centre back. Mad. Like,
do you ever think of what we're going to have? Do you ever think of what this world's going to be like long after we're gone? Do you ever?
Yes, I do. When my niece was born, I remember thinking, like, is she going to go to the moon? Like, is she going to live to 150? And things like that.
Take care,
we're just going to do what film we're watching next week. So, like, pop in, like, watch it back or whatever. It should be in the comments.
I'll repost it again. Hold on.
Again.
At the right time this time.
Honestly, Tyrone. Right, can I introduce this film before we...
Yeah, you can, yeah. Go.
All right. This is a science fiction film that is very, very different to Space Odyssey 2001. This film is our first foreign language film. It is in Chinese. And because of that, I found it on YouTube with English subtitles. Please watch it on whatever you watch films on normally. Like, don't bother watching it on a phone if you watch them, if you like watch on your computer or whatever. Like, watch it how you would watch it normally. It's a film that I have selected for two reasons. One is I really enjoyed it, and the second is that the style and the tone is something that I would like to incorporate into our short film, The Bear. It is about. I'll give you the setup. The Chinese are on the moon, preparing a mission to stop some asteroids hitting Earth. Something goes wrong, and everyone has to leave the moon. But obviously, they've left a man behind, and he is on the moon by himself. It is a very silly film because there is also something else on the moon, which is a kangaroo called Kong, and they become like friends. But it's a very optimistic film. It's a comedy, and you will have a great time with this film. Like, please watch it, and we'll discuss it next week. It's called Moon Man, and Tyrone.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Honestly, it's really good. Like, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. It's really enjoyable. Okay. Tyrone's going to put the link in chat now, and after the show, he's going to put it in the comments. So, Yeah. There we go. So that'll be our film for next week.
Cool. I just want to say thanks to everyone for getting involved in the discussion. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I kind of messed up at the beginning. I was so tired. It's been a long day at work, but yeah.
I could have killed you.
You could
I
try.
would have killed you. I'm doing it now with my mind powers. Do you feel a slight itch? The Samurai, 1967. I'm up for that. We're going to do around Christmas, Agile. We're going to do the 7 Samurai, I think. Yeah, I think around Christmas we should do that. Like, do we have any Christmas films, Tyrone? I don't think we do.
We haven't. No. There's loads of good ones though. There's loads of good ones.
Yeah. Gremlins,
maybe we could
Die Hard.
Yeah. Die Hard's a great Christmas film. I love Die Hard.
Yeah, that is a wonderful film. Yeah.
You're gonna say Home Alone.
Home Alone's decent. I like It's a Wonderful Life. Do you know what I was going to say? I was going to say The Great Escape. It's probably not a Christmas film, but in the UK it is, isn't it?
I like Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've never seen
that. It's
a
great film. It is absolutely hilarious.
I don't like those kind of Christmas films.
I think he's got to try and get his kid like a doll, and there's another dad who's fighting him. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I know what it is and stuff, but I just...
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, I'll tell you what. There's 2 films I watch every Christmas. One is, I don't know how this has happened, but it's Apocalypto.
What? Why?
I don't know. I've been doing it for like the last 4 years or something. I've absolutely
Mate, it's a great film. It's one of the best films I've ever seen.
Yeah, I completely agree. But me and Sarah watch it every Christmas. And the other film we watch every Christmas is A Muppets Christmas Carol, which I adore.
I hate that.
You are a loser.
I hate that. The only thing I like Jim Henson for is when he created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's a legend for that. But the Muppets got no time for them.
Have you not seen A Muppets Christmas Carol?
I don't like the Muppets.
Have you seen A Muppets Christmas Carol?
I watched it as a kid and I switched it off after 20 minutes.
It is the best adaptation of a book ever, in my opinion. It's the only film that's better than the book.
I'm not sitting watching the Muppets.
Sorry. No, I know you're not. It's like I'm not going to watch Elf. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
Bad Santa. I don't know.
I haven't seen that. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it. I heard it's good.
I'm just not interested.
I have. It's Johnny Knoxville. It's Johnny Knoxville. I've seen it. It's funny.
I've got to be honest. I'm not interested in these type of films at all. Like Gremlins, Die Hard, Home Alone. These are Christmas films, not like Santa and things. Not for me anyway.
Apocalypto is a great Christmas film.
Love Actually. I'll put Love Actually in as well. That's a Christmas film.
You know what? I did watch a bit of Apocalypto a few years ago, and I thought I had to question myself.
Why?
I did have to, because
it's got Ronaldinho in there.
No, but some of the sacrifice films, I thought, the bit where they sacrifice, I thought I'd have a bit more empathy in me. I was like, I'm terrible.
What I always found crazy about that is that Oxford University had been running for 200 years when they were doing those sacrifices.
Really?
Isn't that incredible when you think about it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Oxford is like 1076, I think.
What? That's mad.
Yeah, isn't that mad?
Oh,
like Machu Picchu was about 15th century, 1480 or something like that, and I suspect that the Conquistadors are 1475. So isn't that mental that we were doing courses at Oxford when all that was going on?
I still think that there are some tribes that still like capture. There's still cannibalism in certain tribes to this day, anyway. So,
well, there's those guys. Have you heard of Sentinel Island?
No, but I've heard about the poor pygmies. They
man,
have a really hard time. They have a hard time. They get captured, chopped up, and eaten.
Yeah, yeah, that's not fun. Harvard is older than America. Wow. God, it just shows you how lucky you are to be British, innit? You've really won the lottery, like to be born in this country.
Yeah, and I'm lucky that they gave me the 10-year visa for America. I can go back as often as I want for them.
I don't know how lucky you'd be going to America for 10 years.
I just like to explore, man.
Yeah, I have to say, I've always wanted to go to Monument Valley in America. I'd love to go there, like get a lovely little, like a tricycle or something, go down Route 66. But anyway, should we end it here? We've done an hour and a half.
We should do. It's been really enjoyable, man. I love talking to you.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that I got to watch that film. Like,
I'm just happy you like it. What are you giving it? What mark?
8 or 9. I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, for me it's a 9.
Yeah, like
just yeah.
I think the only film I'm more excited from your list of seeing is Parasite.
You're gonna love Parasite. You're gonna find it so entertaining and so brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one, and I'm also looking forward to more Kubrick films as well. I'll tell you the ones that I'm not looking forward to: the bloody action films.
You know what? I think Rich mentioned. I think he preferred Full Metal Jacket to 2001, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's his best film.
Well, as I say, I haven't seen any. This is my first Kubrick film. Like, I haven't really seen The Shining. I haven't seen. Is Apocalypse Now Kubrick?
No, I can't remember. It's not Kubrick. I can't remember. I have to double check. It's a great film, though.
Yeah. Well, I think it's on the list. Actually, I might send you the list this week and see if there's anything. If like, because you know, like you always think of stuff afterwards, don't you?
There's so many great films out there. To be honest, loads. You know, it's a shame. It's a shame both of us have seen Apocalypse. I'd love to talk about that. So good.
Yeah. Well, it's just a chase film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but yeah, that's what we watch at Christmas. I suppose, meant to remind you of like the important things, like Ronaldinho getting back to his wife and kids. Oh, the thing I completely forgot about this in Space Odyssey was it might be a jaguar or it might be a cheetah that we saw a lot of in the beginning.
So leopard.
Leopard, yes.
Yeah.
Like a threat, that there's a threat out there.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. But anyway, it's time. It's time to finish now, isn't it?
Thank you, guys. I am absolutely knackered. I'm so glad you spent your time here with us. Honestly, it's been great. Thank you, Bathtime, for coming on, and look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Good night.
Good night, everyone.